Madam Speaker, I rise yet another time to lead the debate on the Freedom Conscience Cannabis Bill 2023. 40 years ago in 1983, the legendary musician and cultural icon Robert Nestor Bob Marley and his band, the Wailers, sang a song, Madam Speaker, and it was no plan of us. I realized everybody trying to be singing, but what I did, I pulled up the song because it resonated throughout the world, and since time, Madam Speaker, it has become a popular song, and I think it is quite fitting, but Congress is looking at me, Honorable. So what I will do, Madam Speaker, just quote the words. Rasta man live up, Bongo man don't give up, Congo man live up, Bingy man don't give up. Keep your culture, don't be afraid of the vulture. Grow your dreadlocks, don't be afraid of the wolf pack. Rasta man live up, Bingy man don't give up, Congo man live up, Bongo man don't give up. David slew Goliath with a sling and a stone. Samson slew the Philistine with a donkey jawbone. Iron man live up, Rasta man don't give up, Bingy man live up, Congo man don't give up. Rasta man live up, Bingy man don't give up, Congo man live up, Bongo man don't give up. As you know it, Madam Speaker, Bob Marley was a Rasta preacher, prophet that have inspired millions around the world to embrace Rasta and to keep the culture alive. It is because, Madam Speaker, of the determination of the Rasta communities in St. Kitts and Nevis to keep their culture alive and allow it to flourish why we are here today. And I believe all during the day you would have heard of the historic case of May 3rd, 2023 with Sankofa, when the court recognized Rastafari as a religion. I think, Madam Speaker, Rasta Sankofa will go down in our history as a champion for change. Madam Speaker, June 20th is another important day in the history of the Rastafari struggle. You heard the member opposite saying that this is a momentous day because from this day forward, the men and women of our society that call themselves Rasta and subscribe to the Rastafari way of life will have their constitutional rights recognized, and it will be part of our law forever, Madam Speaker. And of course, as a minister with responsibility for ecclesiastical and faith-based affairs, I am happy to be tabling and leading this debate on this constitutionally important Rastafari Rights Recognition Bill of 2023. Freedom of conscience. Sorry, my bad. Yes, Madam Speaker. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the Freedom of Conscience Bill of 2023. Madam Speaker, the National Assembly is leading the way in this charge. We are a progressive land-making body. We are a body who believes in righting wrongs of the past and complying with our constitution and the ruling of the court. The court have asked us to do certain things, and as a responsible government, we have to obey. I think it's also fitting, Madam Speaker, as a minister with responsibility for this ecclesiastical and faith-based ministry, I join the Prime Minister, the Honourable Member for number 8, and I want it to be clear, and I want it to be heard from East Street to West Farm, from Newtown to Newton Ground, and all over the world, that the government of St. Kitts and Nevis is apologizing to the Rastafari community for the oppression and religious persecution that they have faced in this country over these many years. History in the making, Madam Speaker. But of course, Madam Speaker, apologies without actions are of no use to anyone. Our action today in moving for a safe passage of this bill, Madam Speaker, is one of the many steps this government plans to take to make things right for our Rasta brothers and sisters, elders and empresses. Other islands have taken baby steps, but we are taking manly leaps to ensure that Rastafari not only have first dips in profiting from our impending medicinal cannabis and cannabis tourism industries, but that Rasta can have the sanctity and practices their religion and sacrament in peace without any sort of medicinal tags, Madam Speaker. You heard it earlier, Madam Speaker, from the AG, that when this bill is passed, Rasta will have the full legal right to cultivate, harvest, dry, trim, cure, or possess and smoke cannabis as a sacrament for their upliftment and edification at their places of assembly. He went on to remind this Honourable House, a very sharp mind I must say, did a fantastic job on these bills today. When this bill is passed, Rasta will gain access to free course, to license to be issued in the near future by the Medicinal Cannabis Authority. Madam Speaker, what is Rastafari? And I too had a brother, Mabwak, grew up with him as a Rasta. It is an all-encompassing spiritual way of life with a strong religious component. And I stress that strong religious component because, Madam Speaker, I have been around so many of them and they know the Bible inside out. Rastafari is a very well established and the court recognized religious and spiritual lifestyle within St. Kitts and Nevis throughout the region and in fact throughout the entire world. The local and regional Rastafari communities have been associated with the use of cannabis, eating vegan or idle food, growing the hair into dreadlocks, and you know they have the best conscious music, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Honorable. The Rastafari religion is relatively new when compared to other religions, and its origin with the coronation of Prince Rastafari Makonnen Haile Selassie as Empire of Ethiopia just in 1930, Madam Speaker. The followers of Rastafari in Jamaica and in the region usually smoke cannabis with a coconut chalice as a ceremonial activity to facilitate meditation and direct connection with the Creator. The ceremony involves grounding and reasoning processes whereby knowledge passes through the Rastafari network, Madam Speaker. Historically, the Rasta have endured significant discrimination, and you heard it coming out through the various presentations, Madam Speaker, and hardship because of the many uses of cannabis and criminalization for its entrepreneurial, sacramental, cultural, and recreational uses, Madam Speaker. Rastafari has been increasingly marginalized in the exercise of their cultural and religious rights, leading to a life of poverty, disease, and illiteracy, thus being vulnerable to the social ills that affects the general population. Madam Speaker, when we look at the bill before us, it is well laid out, and you have in number 3 clause, you have the application for the license, and it specifically gives the information there as to how one can get that, Madam Speaker. It speaks to the application fees, Madam Speaker, and the license, what I'm seeing here, is $100. I don't know if when we're in committee stage, persons will have a different look. But Madam Speaker, under the license, it is a simple requirement. Nothing too difficult. Everything we are making sure is properly documented. And of course, Madam Speaker, you have the refusal or the revocation of the license. And in previous bills, you would have heard, once you break the law, there are ways and means of us being able to deal with that, Madam Speaker. So there isn't anything for us to be too concerned about. Well laid out. So, Madam Speaker, it is not anything controversial. And of course, the Ministry of Education and all of the other ministries would have their role to play. This religion, in social studies, it's mentioned. But I believe after today, historic today, there would be some amendments or adjustments that will be made to the syllabus so that we can go more in depth on our Rastafari groups, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, a very simple yet powerful bill. I therefore must repeat that this is a momentous day, because from this day forward, all of the men and women of our society that call themselves Rasta and subscribe to the Rastafari way of life, they were able to get a master constitutional rights pass, Madam Speaker. So I say, I won't sing, Rasta man live up, Bingy man don't give up, Congo man live up, Bongo man don't give up. Keep your culture. Don't ever be afraid. May it please you, Madam Speaker.